Well, of course, the biggest moment is going to be the launch of the first ETF, which was March 9th, 1990 in Canada. So Canada was first, not the US. The US was 3 years later, and then Europe happened in 2000. So what we've seen since then is, I think some of the biggest changes have been, initially many people were like, I'm never going to use these things. And so seeing people finding a reason to try them, the biggest challenge is getting that first trade done and trying them. Once that happens, we see that people use them in more ways, in bigger sizes, and hold them for longer time horizons. So the banning of payments of fees for distribution of product has also been a big change because ETFs don't pay to be distributed. And so as those types of changes have happened in Europe, we've seen financial advisors and then retail use ETFs. We've also seen ETFs move from just equities to fixed income to commodities. More recently, we've seen smart beta products come to market. So ETFs keep innovating. In 2015, I think an interesting day was the day that the assets in ETFs that were only 26 years old at that time, and hedge funds were 66 years old, the assets in the ETF industry became larger than hedge funds. So that was a pretty exciting day for me. And what you're finding is the asset-weighted returns of hedge funds have been below the S&P 500 in each of the past 6 years. And ETFs, of course, charge less and can give you exposure to hedge funds, to infrastructure, private equity, many things. And so many people are finding that you can deliver alpha through asset allocation. So how people think about ETFs has really changed from being kind of the enemy to being a tool to help people do their jobs, and they're uniquely very democratic. Large pension funds, hedge funds, asset managers, financial advisors, and then retail have access to the same toolbox at the same annual cost, with the minimum investment size typically about 100 euros. So most active managers today feel they need to have a strategy around ETFs. So what that means is many of them are using ETFs as building blocks to create funds that offer multi-asset class or risk profile returns. Others are creating robos and using ETFs as the building blocks within robos. Others are actually partnering with other managers to launch ETFs. So they might decide they don't want to have their own family, but they might partner with someone else to bring out ETFs. So we've seen firms partner with State Street, we've seen firms partner with Source, with ETF Securities, we've seen many of the Chinese asset managers partner with firms here in Europe or the US to bring out ETFs because they don't have asset management capabilities here in Europe or in the US. And so this has been a useful way to come to market. Other asset managers in the active space are acquiring ETF managers because they want the skill and capabilities of the team, as well as some products. And in the US, you need exemptive reliefs to be able to launch ETFs. And others are deciding to launch ETFs. So here in Europe, we're seeing many asset managers saying, you know what, we want to have ETFs. And so because of Brexit, they're debating, should I domicile ETFs in the UK? Should I go to Luxembourg? Should I go to Ireland? Where should I list them? Where should I cross-list them? So today, ETFs are no longer something that is only for other firms. It's a product that's being embraced by every asset manager around the world, and most of them are also using ETFs. So there's many ways they can participate, and I think most are looking at them from a strategy point of view and deciding what is the best way to get involved. Because today, the ETF industry is $3.8 trillion. So it's grown very quickly, and we've had 37 months of positive net new asset inflows. I can't think of any other product that has had that level of net inflows over 3 years. So an exciting place to be following, and I'm looking forward to a bright future.